Please consider liking the video and subscribing. Let's begin. A game that I and a lot of others are really a big fan of is The Outer Worlds, an interesting and incredible game made by Obsidian that released back on October 25th, 2019. This game received a lot of praise for its story, its setting, and just how fun it was. After that, a couple of DLCs were made, and we were once again back into the system of The Outer Worlds. With a somewhat recent announcement of The Outer Worlds 2, we know that a sequel is in development, and since then we haven't gotten any big news on the game. Frankly, we haven't seen anything from the actual game itself, only a well-done cinematic. This got me thinking, well, since I like this game a lot, I can offer the good people of Obsidian some assistance, if they need any, of course. So here are some Outer Worlds 2 predictions. Also, if you have any suggestions about the sequel, please write it down below. I always like reading what you guys have to say. So, let's jump in. Okay, so what would the second game even be about? Well, here's my idea. Since we're going to an entirely different system, then this pretty much opens the door for anything. The first idea I had was, what if the main premise of the game is about cloning? Spacer's Choice, a giant company that is responsible for pretty much every consumable in the game. Now, what if cloning technology is taken to the next level? We know that Spacer's Choice has no regard for anyone other than making profits. Or really, any company doesn't care, only about money. So in Outer Worlds 2, we see them take the technology to the next level, using human clones to carry out their misdeeds, things like assassinations, to important figures, using them for other purposes like setting up people, also selling clones to the highest bidder for sexual reasons. Our main character would share a similar, somewhat mysterious background like in the first Outer Worlds. Throughout the game, we learn of this dark secret, and we even start to question our own past. Where were we before all of this started? Who was I before beginning this adventure? At the game's climax, we find out that we are in fact the clone of someone else, but we were defective, sent to be destroyed, but we made it out of the Spacer's facility, escaping. We're offered a choice, like in any Obsidian game, either stop Spacer's Choice and destroy the cloning facility, killing hundreds of thousands of clones, ridding the system of this problem, or join them and achieve immortality by having our minds constantly transfer from conscious body to body. The choice is yours. But of course, there is a third ending, not listening to the corporations or to what you want, but listening to what the clones want. They want freedom, but they're under control by Spacer's Choice. So if you pick the clone ending, then you liberate them, and the clones are happy, they're free, but the rest of the system does not accept them as normal people for what they represent. So they're outcasted to a foreign planet. And this can also open the door for a DLC, but we aren't here for that. That's one route they can go with this story, but I had another idea. What if they introduce sentient aliens, but these aliens are not friendly? Oh no, they mean harm to the system. They're introduced at the beginning of the game, as this race wishes to conquer every solar system and eventually the galaxy. But these aliens treat it like a game. If the system can prove itself worthy, then they can stay independent. If they don't, then they will be conquered. So the aliens give the player time to get stronger. As we're doing this, along with our crew and the rest of the system, we're devising a plan to take them down. A cool thing to include would be, throughout the game, a giant spaceship would be looming over the system, watching our every move. As the game progresses, the ship gets closer and closer, until finally we reach the end. With our plan to take down the evil alien race, and the system sends us to fight and represent for the colony, we aboard their ship, fighting alien after alien until reaching their leader. But while we're doing this, our crew is also aboard of the ship, dismantling and setting up bombs to take it down. We defeat the alien leader in combat and are offered a choice to either kill him and free the rest of the galaxy from their control, putting an end to them once and for all, or joining them and being praised like gods from countless systems, having our own alien army to command, but at the cost of our own morals. Of course, the choice is yours. Also, by doing a story like this, or similar to this, then we could potentially have an alien companion, an alien that doesn't agree with the rest of his species. I think that'd be pretty cool. We don't know much about Outer Worlds 2, and the developers themselves have even joked about it when they announced it in 2021. They can go in any direction, but I do hope they at least make some callbacks or references to the events of the first game. A fan favorite character that must return has to be Parvati, perhaps one of the best companions who had really good side quests and a nice ending. Let's say that this sequel takes place 10 or 15 years after the first one. Instead of the shy and timid Parvati, through all her years of flight and experience, she has grown into this leader among people. Let's take it a step further and have the ability to add her to our crew, being the only companion from the first game in this one. This could open the door to learn more about what happened to the rest of the crew after the ending. An interesting side quest idea that I had was, what if our player from the first game had such a big influence across systems, we were basically praised forever because we did save the colony. A side quest in this game could be where our new hero must search for answers to the universe, the most mysterious questions that are out there, and our character from the first game had those answers. We must set out in this new system and look for notes about the universe, and by doing all these side quests, we unlock the ability of time dilation like our player had in the first game. Lastly, I think that there should not be a level cap. In the first Outer Worlds, the level capped around, I think, 36. With the Spacer's Choice Edition, the game was updated to 99. I think that there shouldn't be one to begin with, because some people might agree with me, but I personally like grinding and becoming this powerful character that has every single ability, just destroying enemies that used to be hard, and just straight up bodying them. Like, that's just me, but moving on. Those are some of the things that I would like to see, but what about the fans? Here are some things that people would like to see. Honestly, more of the same. More dystopian corporate humor, more wacky and colorful creatures, new and fun companions, etc. Above all else though, more trinkets to collect and place on the ship. More banter. Third person, more tossball content, weapons, armor. Give me candidates pets. Ship customization, deeper conversation with companions, keep the same semi-open world, reaction to background. More joinable factions, more worlds to explore, and larger open worlds, more challenging combat. And then, my personal favorite, radio. I think that everything mentioned here shares pretty much the same thing. The first game was really good, including these things in the sequel could make the game nearly perfect. Another thing that I didn't like from the first game was how long it was. It felt really short. As I was playing it, I was like, wait, am I already headed to the end game? I was surprised. I mean, coming from Obsidian, who made Fallout New Vegas, which is a long game, I also understand that it's about quality over quantity. They could have put in some mediocre quests or things to make the story drag out more, but regardless, the game was still really fun. And thinking about, I am kind of surprised there wasn't a radio in the game. Hopefully something that they do include in the sequel. What are some things that you would like to see? Please write it down below. Now I know people love explorations of different planets and talking to many different NPCs, but I hope this game doesn't take the path of Starfield and literally overwhelming the player with thousands of planets to explore. People were excited for that, but when the actual game came out, we were met with bare planets and nothing to do on them. In terms of a quest, yes, there's some planets out there that offer them, but to find those amongst the others, come on, who has time for that? I can confidently say that Obsidian will see that somewhat fail by Bethesda and not go too crazy with the size of the map and the different planets that can be explored. I definitely do think the game will be much longer and bigger in size, but in terms of overwhelming the player with thousands of planets, I don't see it happening. Also, there's just something about Outer Worlds that makes it feel special, makes it feel wholesome and just so well put together. Other games don't have this charm and this feeling that Outer Worlds has. This game is still years from being released. In my opinion, I think that we'll see a 2026 release, with Obsidian focusing on Avowed, another RPG-style game that also doesn't look too bad. There's so much time left on the table for Outer Worlds to be changed, and the concept of it can go through multiple phases. Regardless, I am very excited to play the game, and if nothing I mention's in there, then hey, I'll still be playing it and I'll still be praising it, and itching to play more. With a lot of other games coming out, Outer Worlds 2 will get here in no time, but if anyone from Obsidian is watching, if you need someone to help you storyboard or in extra mind, give me a call. I'll be happy to help. But anyway, if there's some stuff that you want in Outer Worlds 2, or maybe you have an idea for what the premise of the game could be, please write it down below. I'll be happy to read it. Also, thank you for the amazing support on the channel, the views and the likes and the subs. Thank you so much. Anyway, take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.